The writing is just really, really well done. And it definitely wasn't all the author of the books, because I'm sure that he was mostly on hand to advise. That's the way you use authors of books.
Everything all right?
So the dialogue here is probably written by the writers on hand for The Witcher. And they did a really good job making it sound natural. Hey!
Welcome to my modest shop.
What do you deal in?
All kinds of incense mainly. For meditation, rejuvenation, cooking, making medicine, rituals, whatever you require.
So, this is me, and this is the shop. Diagram, amethyst dust. Crafting diagram for amethyst dust. Interesting. How much is that? 264? How many orens do I have? 282? No, 203. Okay. Diamond dust, Brock. Poison. Maribor Forest. Stammerford's Filter. Virga. Very interesting. Horror. Man, he's got lots of potion formulas. I like that. Rites of Mediate. Information about the Summer Shrine, which enhances the Quen Shrine. Sign. Let's buy it. Chunk. Cool. Sorts by item versus by name? Yeah, lots of alchemy ingredients. Crafting diagrams. I think that's it. That's all I really want right now. Midaite is midsummer. Is the day of the summer solstice. It marks the beginning of the first month of summer in the elven solar calendar. Elves believe that all things under the sun occur in cycles. After Midaite, the days grow shorter and the dying commences to last until the winter solstice. Summer shrines erected on this day give praise to the sun and life while acknowledging death's certainty. Spells that protect living things and draw power from the sun's heat are particularly strong near these shrines. Witchers use them to bless crops and summon fire. Witches. Even godless witchers bow before summer shrines to augment the intensity of their signs. Cool. Generate additional income by selling shopkeepers the goods you do not need. Cool. Let's do that right now.
Welcome.
What do you deal in?
All kinds of for meditation,
Weapons. Small blackjack. Can I sell you that? Yes. Sword. Long sword. Huh. Interesting. Sword of the Blue Mountains. 8 to 10. Bleeding 7%. Not as good. So, Sword of the Blue Mountains goes here. But it's got a slot for an improvement. I'll sell 4 of them or so, you know, whatever. And a Temerian sword, 11 to 14, huh? Armor. I should put on my... should equip myself
what do you
first.
Deal in?
No.
For meditation, rejuvenation, cooking.
Escape. I'll be going. Now, all of the armor I have here, Blue Stripes combat jacket versus quilted leather. Interesting. Worn hardened leather boots. We'll do that. Heavy leather trousers versus leather trousers. Heliotrope sign duration. Damage bonus on signs. Interesting. Worn leather gauntlets, not as good as the herbalist's gloves. Hardened leather boots is what I'm wearing. Trousers. Leather jacket. Bleeding, poisoning. Yeah, I think that Blue Stripes combat jacket is just so nice. Okay, so I could sell all of my armor. Dragon Soldier's orders. Yep, okay.
Welcome to my modest shop.
What do you deal?
All kinds for me.
Sell it. Sell it all. Let's get rich. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And then weaponry, you know. I'll be going. Good. Now, I want to hear what Dandelion has to say. Ooh, notices. Endriga contract. Faced with the insolence and bestial menace of the creatures known as Endrigas, and concerned for the people, Commandant Bernard Laredo has decided to post a bounty for the extermination of these creatures. The brave soul who permanently rids the area of this filth will receive a generous reward from the hands of Luis Mers, and will be listed in the town chronicles as a true hero of Flotsam. Take it. Necker contract. Necker. Hereby announce that Commandant blah blah blah. Generous bounty for Neckers. And a priest will be paid to conduct prayers in our hero's name for 28 days. Yep. Pardon for the bandit Dimitri. Troll contract to kill the degenerate troll. At a tangle of forest weeds, chin lined with river reeds, Flotsam's barber awaits. Okay.
Mutant.
Now then, where are my companions? Here we are.
It's a dog's life, Geralt, I'll tell you that much.
Damn, that was close. Innkeep! Vodka!
Triss Marigold. Lice eat me, but you are a treat to behold. Just a little pale.
Magic takes its toll, but I'll be all right. Good to see you in your beard again.
Can somebody tell me what happened? You set off a month ago for Zoltan's wedding.
Lad got fucked. There will be no wedding.
Did you hear about Foltest?
Rumors travel faster than the wind.
Winds and rumors. I want to know the truth.
I want to know how Foltest died. And the dragon, was there really one there? And who rules Temeria now?
Dandelion, calm down. You'll choke on your liquor. The dragon. Well, the dragon appeared, and that's all I know.
But where did the Lavalettes get a dragon? We heard it fought on their side, huge as a barn, they say.
Dragons don't usually take sides. Maybe its lair was nearby and it just felt threatened.
If you hadn't driven it off, Foltest might not have taken the castle.
Maybe. We'll never know for sure. No wedding, Zoltan.
The Breckenrigs broke off the engagement because some limp prick put it about that I joined the uprising in Vizima. My would-be Popper-in-law refused to let a rebel firebrand join the family. Innkeep, where's our drink?
It was like this. We got to Mahakam a week after the Grand Master died. Bought Zoltan an absolutely grand doublet, a pair of Garibaldi Krakau's, and as a gift for Eudora, a jade stone as big as my fist.
You were broke as a joke by the time Dandelion threw me a bachelor party at an establishment called the Tight Lane.
Next day, we went over to the Breckenrigs. They welcomed us in, sat us down, and proceeded to discuss the superiority of Mahakaman mining know-how over any other. And that went on until dinner. Just when I thought I'd learned more than I ever wanted to know about mining, they served the soup.
You could have held a pin drop. Old Breckenrig rose and he says, "A real dwarf works a mine, not chases fame on the battlefield."
You'll never believe this, Geralt, but they served duck blood soup. It was as black as tar. They must have dropped lumps of coal into the pot.
"Eat," Breckenrig says, then proceeded to slurp 2 full bowls of the shite. Old goat. Hope his mind caves in on his head.
Laredo said you're working with the Scoia'tael, Zoltan.
I have done many things in my life, Geralt. but I have never stooped to banditry.
The Scoia'tael don't consider themselves bandits.
But I am no Scoia'tael.
That settles that.
Since when have you worked for Roach?
Hey, nobody said a word when you went out to save Temeria from the Grand Master and his mutants.
Relax, Dandelion. I was just asking. Do what you want. You're an adult, kind of.
That wasn't very supportive.
Laugh away. At least I decided to do something constructive.
You used to spy for Redania. Now you're spying for Temeria. Some might call you a traitor.
Ever tried to live off of poetry alone? The truth is, I'm a citizen of the world. As long as I don't serve Emperor Emir, I'm not doing any harm.
Leave him be, Geralt. He'll play the spy a bit, get bored, and drop it. You know how he is.
God. These companions are not very kind to Dandelion.
Triss, you're the expert on Temeria. Tell us who's in charge now.
It's chaotic and getting worse. The old families are fighting for supremacy, no holds barred.
Baron Kimbolt and Count Merivale, I bet.
Among others. After the assassination, while Geralt was in the dungeon, the lords convened in a field near Lavalette Castle to choose a new ruler. 3 days they debated, and it looked more like a bazaar than a meeting of nobles. Except the trade was in court and ministry positions, spheres of influence, royal privileges.
Humans.
In spite of several duels and 2 poisonings, no king was chosen. Civil war was in the air.
Where were the mages?
Aye. Where were the grey eminences of this world when they were truly needed?
They weren't invited. Neither was I. But if not for their intervention, or rather that of a few influential sorceresses, Baron Kimbolt would have taken the throne.
I was invited to sing at his court once. Afterwards, he refused to pay me, and the food was awful. No way I'll stay in Temeria if he's crowned.
A word of advice to you kings out there. Never mistreat your bards.
Did they ultimately resolve anything?
No, it ended as usual. Sadly, John Natalis remains our only hope.
Ah, the victor at Brenna, and Foltest's most tried and true field commander.
During the deliberations, he was several days' march from Lavalette lands, with an additional 2,000 armed men in tow. He's to keep the peace until a rightful monarch is chosen.
He could find that ruling is to his liking.
Natalis is a soldier at heart. He's not suited to rule, and I don't believe he even wants to.
He's got the army behind him.
Yeah.
Which is why he can guarantee peace. Why, a tenuous one, sure, but that's always better than civil war. Besides which, he's deeply in debt to a dwarven bank in which Philippa Eilhart as sorceress holds significant stake.
I think I've heard enough about politics. Foltest's killer lay in wait in the tower, where the Lavalettes had hidden the royal bastards. He was well informed.
Wait a minute, what were you doing there?
I was protecting the king. After the first attempt, Foltest began treating me as his lucky charm. He ordered me to be at his side during the battle. The dragon separated us from the rest of the army. The killer disguised himself as a monk, a blind one at that. He let Foltest greet his children, waited until I had walked off, then cut the king's throat from ear to ear.
How did he flee?
Jumped out a window into the river below. Yorvith Scoia'tael were waiting in a boat. It was planned.
And you're chasing him because he murdered the king?
I was accused of the murder. I need to clear my name. Besides, I looked him in the eye before he escaped. He's a witcher. Then some brave Temerian soldiers showed up, piled on me, and knocked me out.
Save yourselves, good folk! The beast attacks!
I don't remember this.
We better get out there. Someone's casting spells.
Whoa. Damn. Ooh, a sorceress. Good hat.
What sort of sorceress are you? A lot of good you did. Can't you hear me? Why didn't you help him?
He's alive, isn't he?
The beast nearly pulled him in the water while you stood staring like a calf at a shit-covered clover.
Watch your words.
Where's this beast?
Ask her.
Geralt.
Ah, I guess we knew each other.
Oh, look here. Birds of a feather.
Let's say I've heard of you.
Master Witcher, this is foolish. The beast near pulled Sozek into the depths, and you're simply chatting with this damsel.
Sozek's alive, and nowhere near the depths. The monster's vanished without a trace.
You best take her seriously, lest you vanish without a trace.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of your whining. Get out of here.
Ah, as ever. It's the common folk that get ploughed. Come on, lads.
I apologize for interrupting, but I am Louis Merce, and I am chief person in charge of all matters
That
related to
costume
monster
is
hunting in
hilarious.
Flotsam. It is in this capacity that I must inquire if you're willing to attempt to resolve the problem of our so-called Karen, the beast that now blocks all trade traffic on the river.
So, Witcher, are we willing?
We?
I usually work alone.
I was here first, and I'll not relinquish this contract. My way or the highway, as the locals put it.
Fine. Your way it is.
You must contact the merchants on the waterfront as regards any rewards. Madame de Tanseville has, I believe, already conducted some preliminary negotiations.
That I have.
In that case, don't let me keep you.
Triss, how long must I wait for you to introduce us?
Sheila de Tanserville, advisor to Queen Zulika of Kovir.
Kovir's a long way north.
True. I had my doubts if the Kayran was worth the journey, but those were dispelled with what it showed today.
Here to hunt down some ingredients?
Triss Merigold. Sharp as ever.
You're thinking that...
Troll eyes, ghoul venom, virgin's blood, all those disgusting marvels we take from dying species. To throw into the cauldron at Sabbaths. Right, Triss?
Absolutely. Virgins are a dying breed.
Oh my. Your sense of humor seems to be intact too. But enough of these pleasantries. Tell me, Geralt. You saw the tentacle. What do you make of it all?
The beast must be huge. Maybe inhabited one of the Pontar's tributaries before, hunting animals. Then it grew for some reason, and hunger drove it to seek fresh pastures.
And on the Pontar it found trade barges burgeoning with obese, slow-moving merchants. You're partly correct. Cedric claims the Kayran emerged from the northern swamps approximately 1 month past.
Cedric?
An elf. Formerly a Scoia'tael. Strange bird. But he knows quite a bit about the area and its living wonders.
I need to look around, find out a few things.
An investigation. Witches' rituals, extracting secrets and such.
More or less. I'll talk to the merchants about the reward, pay Cedric a visit, and get back to you.
You'll find me at the inn. I've rented lodgings there, on the upper floor.
You know the inn's also a whorehouse.
Thanks for the warning.
God. So mean to each other. So someone earlier was saying, I wish they had gone for more show than tell. And the dialogue is very heavy. And there's a lot to keep track of. But it seems like, oh man, lots of text. But this is mostly summarizing what I've done. To the temple. Trial by fire, Melitelli's heart. Yeah, that's quite cool. The journal really helps you keep track of the story, but there's a lot to keep track of. I think as well, returning memories. I guess that's just going to keep going. I know it's not checked off, so yeah. The Assassins of Kings. Yeah. Stringing up swords, a sword from monsters. I need to acquire a silver sword, the Kayran, the Assassins of Kings. Yep, there we go. Endrika contract, Necker contract. Okay, right. Indecent proposal. Locations, brothel, Flotsam, Violet Castle Dungeon. New boy, Count Echeverry. Arthur Tales, Archpriest. I'm not going to read all of this on the stream because I think it would be not exactly the most exciting thing for you guys to watch. It's a Clar. A trap. Nice. Tutorial stuff. Yep. Not bad. And alchemical information. Cool. Let's see. I'll probably go for another 10-15 minutes or so, because like the first part of this was all a rehash of what we'd seen at the end of last session. So I have to go to Laredo's residence in the evening.
I'll be damned.
You guys got anything for me on this boat? Nope. Doesn't seem like it. So there's a lot of story, and it's largely delivered in cutscenes and then stored in your journal. So you always have that reference point to go back and look it up. But it is quite heavy. One of the advantages of that is they can really get sort of granular about the history of the world and everything that's going on in it. So they don't have to literally show you every event that's being spoken of. And I think that helps The Witcher feel like a much bigger world than just the game. Like, the game shows only your events within the context of a much larger scene, and the scene itself is set by the conversations. So that's interesting, and I think it helps The Witcher 2 feel like a very big game, while keeping it at a manageable scale to produce.
Working my arse off like a stagecoach. Good day.
Good day.
Psst. White-haired one. I have an offer for you.
Okay.
Greetings, white-haired one. I could do with your help. You see, I'm looking for a certain formula.
I'm no herbalist.
I know who you are. I'll be straight. Find the formula and you'll earn a sizable pouch of orans.
Sounds fine.
Sounds good. What do you want me to do?
The formula is in the hands of a certain shopkeeper.
Can't go and see him yourself?
He deals in incense. One type is particularly popular. I think what he sells is harmful, yet I need the formula to prove it. The scoundrel knows that and is very cautious. Yet I assume you, as a witcher, have your ways?
I'll see what I can do.
Vincel Pug. Not yet.
I'm working on it.
I see. I can't ask him what he wants the formula for, or what he does. Like, maybe he's just a rival. Who knows?
Boss, why the hell are we stacking and restacking?
For you.
What do you want?
Heard you have a problem.
Ah, if only we had just one. Highways washed out, forests full of bandits, a river beast blocks the port, and tolls at a rise.
Can't help with the tolls, but the monster's a possibility.
A sorceress said the same, but we've yet to see any results.
She's asked me to work with her.
And who's to pay your wage?
That's what I'm here to discuss.
The sorceress was to manage alone. You can split that reward if you wish.
Where's our advance? Double the fee and I'm in.
Well, we're managing it together now, so as I see it, you should double the reward.
You jest.
Oh yeah.
You'll double what you offered Lady de Tanzerville, because that's what the contract's worth.
Use that sign.
So be it. I assume you to be professionals and worth every last copper paid to you.
It's a deal. Now tell me what you know about the beast.
You're the Witcher, damn it! I've no knowledge of these things.
Who could tell me more?
That ploughing elf, Cedric, most probably. He's supposed to know all about monsters.
Where can I find him?
In the village, outside the walls. Now leave me be.
So they doubled the price. That's good. What's my journal say now? Cool. I think it's fun to use those different sort of skills in cutscenes like that, but I have a hard time understanding, like, is there a mechanism behind it? Is there some kind of, like, is it based on chance, or is it based on just me using, is it just a flavor thing? Or does what I choose actually affect my chances of success?
Well, well, I had an inkling and it didn't disappoint me. It was a long voyage to this cesspit, but it's about to make sense. Voltest's killer, live and in person. How are you? Happy and healthy?
Can't complain.
I am delighted, really. But you see, it's a long way back to Vizima, and I'd rather not dawdle. Lost a load of time looking for you.
No reason to waste any more talking then. Bon voyage.
Listen, Jester.
They speak French
You're
in
worth more
Temeria.
to me alive, but if need be, I will take you back as a corpse. You choose.
All right. Give it a shot.
Drop your sword and put your hands together, or I'll not vouch for what...
Shut up. Go ahead. Try to kill me.
We've got a wanted man
Whoa.
here! Grab it, boys!
Damn, these bandits have a lot of health. Oh, damn, bleeding. Holy hell. Alright, I'm setting you guys on fire. Oh, I'm gonna get killed. Killed by bandits! No! The Witcher taken back as a corpse. Temeria, freed of its killer, goes on to be ruled by that commander. And the kingdom knows peace once again, but there are a lot of monsters. Oh, now I have to go, like, I have to go get my price increase again. Oh, man. That's a bummer. Hey!
What do you...
Heard you.
Yep, yep.
A sword.
She's
Yep.
asked me.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I...
The
Yep.
sword.
Yep. Double it.
Well,
Yep, yep.
You
Hey.
double what?
So be it.
Yay!
It's a deal. Now tell me.
You're
Who could tell me?
that ploughing elf, Cedric.
Cedric would
In the
know
village.
more
Now
about
leave
the
me-
Kairan. Good. Now, where are those bandits? There they are. Let's save. Time to kill some bandits.
Well, well...
What's up, jerks?
No.
This... Drop...
Shut.
Oh!
We've got a wanted man here! Grab him, boys!
Ow.
Hit the freak!
Yeah. Oh, damn. How are you still alive after getting set on fire like that? Ooh. I think I'm gonna die. Nope. Nice. Okay. Arrest warrant. Let's read that. Crime of regicide, sentenced to die by fire, Reward. Witcher is armed and dangerous. You bet. Oh. People have been telling me about my stamina. I don't see any indication anywhere of what my stamina is. It's not that bar up above my health, because that's my experience.
Fine.
Oh, how do I put away my sword? Whoa, damn. Don't do that. That's not what I meant to do. Press the sword button. What's the sword button? Ah. There we go. Okay. Good. What was that? Ah, lumber. Timber. Ah, it's 1 and 2.
It's true. Foltest is dead.
So how's it going, dears? Everything all right at the house?
Greetings. Mind if I take a look at what you have?
Certainly. You're welcome to. I'm Fioravanti, a merchant. Not to be nosy, but weren't you hired to kill the Kairan? I've had my fill of this place, and I'll be glad when the blockade is finally lifted.
Larita won't let you traders out until it suits him. Seems he needs you here for some reason.
What's that supposed to mean, damn it? Is he organizing some international trade fair? I'm a subject of King Demavend, and I tell you...
Demavend's dead.
Ah.
Now, if you don't mind, can we get down to business?
Let's trade. You've got a couple things. Formula Tiara. Limits loss of vigor when parrying at the expense of damage dealt and vitality. White Rafford's decoction. Thunderbolt. And lots of those signs have such heavy negative effects. Scent of incense. Indecent proposal. Right. Well, I've got a lot of potential leads. I'll see if I can head to the blacksmith shop and get a silver sword forged, because I'm gonna need to go kill some neckers. So I'll definitely need that.
Ha! Greetings. A word, if you will.
You see, we've created an alchemical substance, and we wish to test it in Vizima, in a laboratory.
Seeing as you're a witcher, we wondered if you'd be willing to test it in practice.
In a year or two, given the occasion, you could visit us in Vizima. We'd examine you and reward you generously.
We need to study its long-term effects. We can't say more.
Are you in?
No.
No way.
That's not helpful.
We'll try someone else.
Like, why would I just drink a random substance? Characters. Farid. Yeah. Hey! Berthold!
Hey, boss. Look who's graced our smithy. That titan of the art of smithing can't hear us. Busy. Work's a blur in his hands. And how are you, Witcher? Things working out for you?
Nice workshop.
Bah, it's no workshop, just a simple forge. But thanks for the compliment, both in my name and the master's. So how can we help you, eh?
Craft me an item. Witcher's silver sword. How do I make that be what I want to craft? Oh, I just click on it. Okay. But I need 2 lumps of silver ore, which I have no idea where to get. Maybe I can buy them from him. These are all my crafting goods. Each silver ore lump only costs 3 orens, so if I were able to buy it from him, I would certainly be able to. Crafting. Hey, look at that! There you go. Beautiful. It's a shame you can't just buy it straight from him while you're here. Like, that would make a lot of sense. But, at least they provided it there. I will create that, and the price is 35 orens, which is a good price. Excellent.
At your service.
Witch's Silver Sword. 10 to 17 damage, plus 5% bleeding. Wonderful.
Where might you be going?
What kind of question is that? Anyway, know where I can find an elf named Cedric?
Don't get involved in this.
The merchants are paying good money for killing the beast.
Coin is never the most important thing.
Oh?
Maybe, but it's still pretty useful.
I don't trust her.
Sheila? Why not?
She's a powerful sorceress. Dangerous to her foes, even more dangerous to her friends.
I know you don't like her. Any specific reason?
I'm just trying to warn you.
Thanks. I guess I'll have to ask her.
How?
We're going hunting together, right after I find Cedric.
Well, then let's go see him. He should be at the top of his observation tower.
There you have it. Seems like Triss really doesn't like Sheila. This is like a... No, that's just scleroderm. Oh, I did step into a magic circle, and it boosted my... What? What did it boost? Hard to say exactly what that is. Yep. It boosted my something. So yeah, loading screens between town and the forest. Probably to reduce the load. Whoa, damn, okay. Oh. Shite. Oh, and I'm poisoned also, that's good. You're dead. Woohoo! Yikes. A little rough. Oh no, another one! I am going to get killed. Okay, that's good. I can't get anything off of these. Oh, dude! Are they coming back to life? Oh no! Poisoned to death. Well, I think it might be time for some Q&A. Let's just see where my last save is. I've got my silver sword. I'm ready to go out. Yeah. We'll do this. Talk to Triss really quick. And save.
Where?
Yeah. Merchant's putting up a lot of
I don't-
coin.
She's a... I'm...
Thank.
How?
We're going.
Well...
Alright, cool. So. Saving that. Exiting to main menu. Very nice. So, that's going to be it for playing The Witcher 2 today. So, do you guys have any questions for me and what I've been seeing so far in the game? What's my least favorite part of the game so far? It's hard to say. I mean, it's really enjoyable. Despite, making, remarks here and there and finding, searching for what feels good, what feels bad. It's just a really high quality game. The story feels rich, the setting feels interesting, and it doesn't feel like it's good evil. It feels very nuanced. Even like Dandelion has obviously done some things where he's not necessarily the best of people, or he's not completely free of blame, right? So I'm really enjoying how nuanced and how detailed everything is. Coming straight off of Dark Souls, like I've mentioned a couple times, the combat still isn't clicking for me. It's not feeling as well defined as I might want it to. Like, there was one time when I was fighting those bandits where I didn't really understand how I got hit by the guy. And when you're playing Dark Souls, you never wonder, how did that hit me? Or almost never. It's very, very rare. So I guess that's kind of currently my least favorite part, but I think that as I learn more about the system, as I learn more about, as I level up my character, and as I learn more about the potions I should and shouldn't be using based on my build, then I think that'll get a lot better. It's already super easy, super early in the game, even still. Hitman9923 asks, question, I always hated it when an RPG gives you a lot of gold, but there isn't anything to spend it on besides health potions. What do you think of The Witcher's currency in stores? So currently, I haven't interacted with that too much, but it seems to me like there's tons of stuff to buy. Tons of formulas that look very interesting. I'll probably want to collect them all just so I have the options. And each of them looks like it costs around 200 gold. And like right now, I only have about 200 gold. So I always appreciate it when a game makes gathering money a worthwhile process, especially because as a Witcher, the way I gather money is by doing these bounties and going monster hunting. So like that reinforces the illusion of being a Witcher, being a professional monster slayer. And even like my reaction when Triss said, why are you doing this? I said, well, money is important. It sort of reinforces Geralt's background as a professional monster hunter. Mogworlder asks, will I be playing through the entirety of the game, or just up to a point where you've got no more to say about the game? Well, I feel like I'll probably have things to say about the game until the very end of it, so I'm looking to play through the entire game, which I recognize that might take a large number of episodes of A Designer Plays. We might go into like double episodes some weeks just to speed up the process. We'll see. It's still quite early in the show, quote unquote. Eplesh asks, how do I like the environmental design? I touched on this a little bit when we first got into the forest. The forest itself looks incredibly lush and rich. The path through the forest that I went along first already started, like it felt very directed, but the shape of it wasn't completely uniform, actually. So if you looked at like the edges of the space, there were lots of little like nooks and crannies carved out by rocks or boulders or tree trunks, things like that. So it made it feel very organic. I think that they've done a really excellent job with the forest, making it feel like a forest, making it feel organic, but while still making it easy to find your way through it. And we'll look into that when I get out of the town in the next session a little bit more, and I'm able to explore around in the various areas that are around the town. What's my favorite character in The Witcher 2 right now? I really liked, is his name Zoltan? The dwarf? Because now I'm thinking of Zoltan Kuhl from Diablo 3. I think it's Zoltan. he seemed like he was very interestingly written. He had interesting things to say. The voice acting for him was fantastic. They clearly got someone excellent to do the accent for him. This is a question I've gotten a couple times. Majay asks question from one developer to another one. What steps did you take to obtain your position within your current company? He's asking specifically about breaking into the industry. When did I graduate? I graduated in 2007. And the steps I took was, over summers at college, I just happened to, I worked in a town, I worked in Raleigh, North Carolina, and in Morrisville, North Carolina, very close by, is where Red Storm had their headquarters. So I worked quality assurance for Red Storm over summers. And as a result of that, when I graduated, there was another company in Raleigh called Funcom. They made Age of Conan and The Secret World and Anarchy Online as well. And they were looking for quality assurance for Age of Conan at that point in time. So I simply put in my application for them, and because I had a lot of experience with Red Storm, they accepted me. One thing sort of just led to another, and after 3 years or so, my wife and I moved up to Montreal because they were going to close the North Carolina studio, open one in Montreal. And with the move, I applied for a design position, and because I had some coding experience from some classes I took in college, because I had played with a lot of game creation softwares like the Neverwinter Nights Toolkit, the Oblivion Toolkit, things like that, I was able to propose a boss encounter that they liked a lot, and so they put me on the dungeon team for the Secret World, and that's where I got my start as a designer. From there, I worked there for 2 or 3 years with a couple of guys on that team, and when they left Funcom, they started up at Behavior for the Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade game that I'm currently working on, and they pulled me over as well, because Funcom had to lay off a large number of people due to less than expected results from the sales of the Secret World. And that happens a lot in the games industry, so it's not like it was super strange. But that's how I got to where I am. And when I get asked this question, I wish that there was some more that I could say that could give advice. But it's kind of a combination of luck and preparation. So if you got a BS, a Bachelor of Science in 2008, and if you're continuing to make games, continuing to interact with people in the games industry, then I guess sooner or later, and it's kind of a frustrating thing to hear, right? Sooner or later, an opportunity will come along. I'm just lowering the music a little bit because I saw someone mention the music was loud. Sooner or later, an opportunity will come along that you're prepared for, and you can say yes to it. And that's a strong way to get started, and even a strong way to continue after that, and I have found. Yeah. In The Witcher 2, Luthor asks, they made the change from the first game where you can only drink potions outside of combat, while brewing potions is still done outside of combat. How do you feel about this change? Could you drink potions in combat in The Witcher 1? I didn't think that you could. Because I very much remember needing to prepare ahead of time for fights that I was going to be in. I don't know. I like it. I don't remember it being very specific in The Witcher 1, so not addressing that portion of the question, very sorry. But I do like it in The Witcher 2 because it really still makes me feel like a person who relies much more on preparation than on split-second reactions, which somehow to my brain, it makes it feel more like I am a real monster hunter back in this era. I would definitely go do research about monsters, prepare the ingredients I need, track down the location of the monsters, prepare myself mentally and physically, apply my oils, drink my potions, and then go. And because of all the preparation I've done, I win. Whereas in other games, it kind of puts you in the pace, in the sense of just being a super uber badass who wins all the time no matter what. But in The Witcher 2, I found this the last time I played, and I'm sort of finding it now. If you use the wrong weapon, or if you're using the wrong potions, if you're not prepared, you lose. And I really like that about it, actually. I think that it puts me in the mode of being that hero who has to prepare. Lucian Zero asks, my favorite fantasy literature. I really like Dying Earth series stuff, so The Dying Earth by Jack Vance is a really great series. I'm currently reading The Book of the New Sun, which is actually another Dying Earth novel by... who wrote The Book of the New Sun? I'm sure people in chat know it. The New Sun. Gene Wolfe. By Gene Wolfe. I like Lord of the Rings. What else do I like? I know I just read The Once and Future King from the Arthurian legend. That was very enjoyable. I read a lot, and I enjoy reading a lot. And I try to pull inspiration from a lot of places when I think about games. So I use my reading to inspire the situations I create in role-playing games and the sorts of experiences that I try to drive forwards. Ooh, Victormon, the open forest made me feel claustrophobic. Any ideas on how they could still have a lush, beautiful forest without triggering claustrophobia for people? That's an interesting question because it's very hard to answer without, like, testing and constant feedback. I would probably have to sit you down in front of the game, play it, and really pick your brain about what made you feel claustrophobic. And then see, first of all, like, the question is, do I want it to feel claustrophobic because that's a specific experience I'm trying to create, or do I want it to feel some other way? I feel like the forest is supposed to feel very dense and very foresty. You know, when you go out in the woods and you're actually exploring through a wild area, it feels very dense. It feels like you really can't get there from here because there's just tons of tangled branches and bushes in the way. And I think that they did a really good job with that. So, I mean, if it's like triggering like an anxiety reaction, obviously that's something that we don't really want when we're creating games. But to evoke that feeling without like really triggering you is something that we do want to achieve. So, you know, it's a fine line, and it's really all about playtesting and feedback. Spencer Kid AW, how important do I think voice acting is in story-driven games? That's hard for me to answer. In a game like The Witcher 2, I think the voice acting adds a lot to it. I think they got excellent voice actors, and the voice actors have given excellent performances under excellent direction. I really have very high praise to offer them for their voice acting. How important do I think it is another question. I'm thinking of procedurally generated games that are still very story-driven, very plot sort of focused, but the plot is procedurally assembled by sort of archetypes. So like you have a villain, and the villain takes actions that are in direct opposition to the player's, you know, progression. And a game like that, you could never have, or you could never, at our current state of technology, it would be very, very hard to have good voice acting for a game like that. So I wonder if there is room in the video games industry for story-driven games that are not voice acted. I don't think that would be a AAA kind of game, because AAA, kind of a fuzzy definition, often refers to the amount of money spent on a product rather than the actual quality of that product even. So AAA, I consider AAA experiences to not just be about the amount of money spent, but also about the intention to create a very accessible experience. And The Witcher 2 is obviously very accessible to people who have to anybody who has some sort of experience in video games. The Witcher 2 is a very accessible game. There's not a lot of challenge with the menus. There's not a lot of for example, if they removed voice acting, it would be much less accessible because it would be a lot of text that people would have to read, and a lot of people really don't like to read a lot of text when they're playing a video game. So that would make it less accessible. But you might be able to create a more dynamic story that way. And you would cut down on the cost a lot as well. The filthiest of peasants has been asking a couple times, how does combat compare to Dark Souls? In Dark Souls, I always feel like I know exactly where I am, and I always know exactly where enemy attacks are going to land. And if I see the attack, then it's just all about learning the attack and then being able to predict it and dodge out of the way or block it. Whereas in The Witcher 2, I don't feel so much that I know where attacks are going. Like when an enemy thrusts at me, his attack isn't just going straight forwards. He'll actually curve to follow me as I dodge, and I haven't yet gotten under my hands the feeling for how combat feels in The Witcher 2. It might get better as I play along, but right now the combat is much harder for me to grasp than it was in Dark Souls at the moment. But Dark Souls combat, like that is the thing that they focused on for Dark Souls. It's not as much the thing that they focused on for The Witcher 2. I feel like The Witcher 2 is much more of a story-driven, role-playing game where you feel like you're playing Geralt of Rivia. Logworlder's asking, do I know what spec I'm going to choose for my playthrough of The Witcher 2? And I don't at the moment. I'm entirely uncertain. I think I do like having the option to use a lot of vigor, but I know that like as you get deeper into the melee tree, it unlocks like adrenaline or something like that. So I'll have to look into that more deeply. Let's answer one more question, and then we'll call it a day. Someone is asking if I have any ambitions to become a lead designer, not just a lead level designer. We'll see, man. If it was the right company, if it was the right project, if I felt like I had enough experience, because that's really important. Right now, I'm actually trying to work on the way I approach and converse with people about complicated issues. If someone offered me tomorrow and said, Steven, we'd like to make you the lead designer on Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade, I would say, you know, guys, I don't think I'm the right person for that position at the moment. Just because I haven't learned enough about myself and about how to work with people yet. Like, I think when I was younger, I thought, hey, anything can be learned within, like the snap of a fingers. You just read a book, or you talk to somebody, or someone helps you with, some advice or something like that, and then you've learned it, and then you can go and you can just like leap forwards very quickly. But now that I'm getting a little bit more mature, now that I'm 29, now that I've been in the games industry for a couple of years, I'm realizing like this challenge I'm working on right now is how to approach people and how to make my points in a way that they're receptive to them. And the reason it's challenging for me is because it's just the way that I am. And it's the way that I've always been. And so I'm having to really examine my actions in detail and twist my brain, because it's a problem, because I don't realize that it's a problem, because I don't see it from my perspective. I only act in a way that I think makes sense. So what I'm having to do is sort of examine my actions a lot more. I know that this is like really outside of the conventional understanding of making video games, but interpersonal communication is so important in the games industry, because if you can't communicate your ideas effectively, then you're not going to be an effective designer. So, trying to work on that aspect of my personality. And that's why I'm not ready to be a lead designer yet. Yay, good answer, guys. There's a long question here from Groda90. He's curious on my opinion on a dilemma of his. He spent 3 years on a university education in computer graphics, but as time went on, he realized that if he wanted to make games and sort of have a safe job at the same time, he would probably be forced to work on stuff he wasn't very interested in. Yeah, definitely. His education includes 3D modeling, animation, editing, and some very basic game design and basic programming in Python. He lost his motivation and failed a few classes, did well in classes related to modeling and animation. He still feels very strongly about developing games, but he doesn't want to work on Call of Duty or Battlefield 25. Should he still try to pursue a career in game development? So, if I were being... There's two answers here. One, should I still try to pursue a career in game development? The standard answer from within the industry is no. Never. Because games are, they're hard to make. They are not a stable job, particularly stable job. And if you're not absolutely 100% certain that you want to be in the games industry, you shouldn't be in it. I'm not sure how much I believe that, actually. I actually think that the games industry should move away from being a passion-driven industry towards being a work-driven industry. And I think that it should be a good career even for people who are not 110% passionate about games. I think that, and we're getting political here, but I think that if an industry relies on the passion of its workers, then the industry can also take advantage of the passion of its workers. And I really... This is getting into dangerous territory, but I actually see a lot of that in the games industry, and I really don't like it. So, Grota90, should you still pursue a career in game development? There are a lot of games that are not Call of Duty or Battlefield 25. I personally have been very, very fortunate to only ever work on games that I was passionate about, the kind of games that I like. But there are a lot of opportunities in the games industry to work on games that you don't like. So really, you should decide if you like making games. And then if you do like making games, then you can enjoy working in the games industry regardless of what game you're making. And that's really good for you. What you might consider doing, Grota, is... Your talk about your grades doesn't really concern me too much. It's not that big of a deal, really, especially since you're still doing well in the classes on modeling and animation, which seem to be the area that you're very interested in pursuing within the industry. What I'd recommend is get together with a couple friends and start making small games. You can use programs like Unity, which is it's free. It's a 3D game engine that you can use to create your own games. There's lots of information on how to use Unity and how to make your own games in it. You could use a program like Game Maker or Stencil. Both of those are 2D game creation engines. So I'm not sure how much that helps you with 3D modeling and animation, but you could also create 3D models and animations and port them over into the Unreal Engine. If your models are high quality, you could create models for Dota 2 or for PlanetSide 2 with a Player Studio on both of those, and you can actually start making very good money that way. I know a couple of modelers who have stopped working as professionals within the industry and only make models for games that they sell individually through microtransactions within the game on Player Studios. So there are a lot of avenues to pursue not necessarily a career in the games industry, but still be working on games and making money with games that then sets you in a good position for a future career within the games industry itself. So I think that is all we're going to talk about here today. I know that those last two answers were actually quite long. So, thank you guys for stopping by and checking out A Designer Plays The Witcher 2. We do this every week, once a week at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday mornings. So, thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will see you next week. You should definitely swing by twitch.tv/itmejp on Monday evening and Tuesday evening, both Eastern Time. And we're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons for a one-shot on Monday evening, and we are going to play some. Oh man, what's it called? I want to say No Man's Sky, but it's not No Man's Sky. It's Stars Without Numbers. Stars Without Number on Tuesday evening on twitch.tv/NBJP. So, YouTubers, if you're curious about anything, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll see if I can bring those questions into next week's Q&A. Thanks for hanging out. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever you want. Ciao.